I wrote my wife a letter in this in the first week I was in H&P Only, and it wasn't a letter to go public. It was a letter for me to detail a lot of things I needed to say to her, because to be honest, in that first week I didn't think I'd make it out of there. And in fact, I thought, I know what their intentions are now. I know what's gone on in my previous sentences. So I wrote her a letter basically apologising to my wife. And it was me apologising, not for anything I've done. What was more difficult? Coming out as conservative or coming out as trans?
Definitely coming out as conservative.
Susanna, first of all, you shot on the scene in this political world that we're in. I started seeing your video.
What is this madness? What is going on? This is absolute destruction. And it's like we had the same situation to do with all this madness, all this transgender bullshit. All this, you have the same thing where you had a male prisoner, a man who raped young girls. He raped children, okay? He then feels like a woman. I feel like a woman. Oh, do you, mate? Well, let's put you in the women's prison. That's what they did. No, they put him in a women's prison. Guess what he did? He was put on solitary confinement within 24 hours because he was sexually assaulting and abusing women. If I get called transphobic for that, yes, I'm transphobic.
Say what? But for the situation that she finds herself in, that we find ourselves in. And then, and I also, and the reason it was, to explain it, it was important for me, say if I got killed in that prison sentence, there was a lot of things that I hadn't said that I needed to say, especially with regards to, just with regards to my wife and then to my children. So I wrote 3 individual letters to my children, where I wanted to say to them, Joe, the thing that was killing me most was that if, say I got killed and they grow up without a dad, then they'd be angry at me for thinking that I didn't care about them. I've done this last time, man. I didn't care about them as to why I do what I do. And so I individually, and I broke my heart to write it. And then they didn't send it. They held back the letter.
Why did they do that? How do you know that?
Because they give me a form, and they give me a form saying the letter's not being sent because they think it's going to end up online.
What difference does that make? It's your letter.
They think it's going to end up online, and it is and I know that may seem like a little thing, but it knocks you because
it's like a last will and testament. Can you tell me what you said to your wife? Is it too personal?
No, to my wife it was apologies. Look, there's been times over the last years where I haven't been living with my wife, where I've been living at my mum's and things like that, where I've made mistakes even across my marriage, and it was just, and then it was apologies about because everything that goes on with me, I may be serving a prison sentence, she's serving a sentence on the out, and then also the letter I wrote was prior to the police going to see my wife, but it was then just things to tell my children about their characters. And
Did you tell these things to your wife after you got out? Did you say them to her?
Yeah.
I just want to apologize to Mike's mom and Josh's mom and my mom. And I'm sorry to everyone. I was very naive. I am so sorry for everything that has happened. Because in spite of what Mike says now, it is my fault. Because it was my project. And I insisted on everything. I insisted that we weren't lost. I insisted that we keep going. I insisted that we walk south. Everything had to be my way. And this is where we've ended up. And it's all because of me that we're here now. Hungry and cold and hunted. I love you, Mom and Dad. I'm so sorry. I'm scared to close my eyes. I'm scared to open them.
So it's not, and even with my kids, it would be that it would be trying to tell your wife, or you're trying to tell your wife, which I've tried to tell her many times, that this isn't about my kids, yeah? This isn't about our kids. This battle is about every single child and the next generation of children across this country, even the people who hate me, even the people who despise me, even the politicians. It's about their kids and their kids, and it's about everyone's kids. So this goes beyond the need of my children. The need of my children, yeah, I should shut my mouth and just be a dad. But it's far bigger than that. And what is, and it essentially it's like, if we remain silent, if we ignore and we don't stand up to the blatant wrongs that we can see, to the blatant dangers we see our country in and our families in and our communities in, if we don't, then essentially if there's going to be a battle and someone's going to have to put themselves up, then let it be me, not my son. So I could, and trying to explain that to your wife who's not politically minded or doesn't really, all she cares about is being a mother to the kids and our kids. She doesn't think deeply about, she doesn't view the country, she doesn't, or, do you know what I mean? It's like, so it was to put, it was a 10-page of me not just breaking my heart. And I actually said in the letter, this isn't a suicide note. I know it reads like it, because I generally at that time, I'm thinking, why have they moved me to this prison? They're going to let them have a shot. Yeah, I found out that the imam, the prisoner who works down the block, when I spoke to him, he said, when I was going out in the exercise yard, he said, I knew 3 days before you got here you was coming here. I said, how do you know that? He said, the imam was telling everyone. So then I'm thinking, so the Muslims in the prison have had an opportunity to prepare themselves. When I previously got violently beaten in prison, I was locked in a room. I knew that those Muslim lads didn't know I was going to be locked in that room, yeah, because I could tell by their faces. Now, if you give someone an opportunity, then they're getting knives, then they're getting blades. They're going to be ready for me when they get that one opportunity to have a swipe at me. They're going to get it. So I'm weighing all that up, and I'm thinking of why I've been moved from one prison to another. So I'm generally, I don't think I'm coming out of there. And there's a lot that I wanted to say, or I want to say, not just to my wife, but to my children. And then when they stop the letter,
So I am back in the UK, here in London with Tommy Robinson. It is the eve before your trial. First of all, how are you feeling tonight?
There is zero chance in me apologising. Zero chance.